Once upon a time, I was simply Myra Hindley, a very normal child. As a girl, I used to write a lot of stories, made up jokes, songs. I laughed a lot. Mum's always liked me, and I was considered to be good with children, an excellent babysitter, able to put children at ease. I didn't have any traumas in my childhood. No grudge against the world or society. I have no excuse. I first met Ian at work. I knew before I was even told his name that I was going to make him mine. I can only describe my reaction to him as an immediate attraction. I was determined to make him notice me, and spent the next year keeping a diary of our interactions. I went from loving him to hating him, to loving him to hating him. He took virtually no notice of me, and when he did, it was either a come-on, which sent my hopes soaring, or an ostentatious apathy towards me, making cruel and sarcastic remarks. But when he smiled at me, or was nice to me, I felt blessed and floated on air. You know, some of my friends, they'd feel that way about pop idols and film stars. But my idol, he was sat in my office, right behind his desk. You know, it was his hands what first attracted me. His nails were clean. His fingers were long, his skin muscular and toned. I could watch him for hours. He'd read to me, teach me things. Could make me laugh. We talked and talked. We studied German. He had this powerful personality, a magnet-like charisma that I got caught up in it, in him. He was so exciting, so passionate, so free-spirited. You know, he'd often disappear for days at a time, never telling me where he was going or what he was doing. I had no idea what his activities were, but even if I did, I would have ignored them. All that mattered was that we were together. And I'd feel sick when we were apart, like I couldn't breathe properly. I was totally besotted by him, always trying to figure out the mystery he'd become to me, the aura that emanated from him. And he knew that. And he loved it. Whenever Ian needed me, I was going to be there. I knew as soon as he started talking about the perfect murder that I was going to help him, that really I had very little choice, and that whilst I feared and often hated him, I was totally obsessed by him. I couldn't change my feelings for him. We were of one mind, not troubled by our consciences. He taught me how to overcome my emotions, to do things on autopilot and disregard the consequences, and I was a willing apprentice. I was always good. I worked well. I was thorough. I did everything I was told. Ian knew he could count on me because I was reliable. We talked so much. We made it happen. Pauline was in July. She was 16, I was 21. She knew me and she trusted me. It was easy. I helped look for her when her family realised she'd gone missing, and Ian thought that was a nice touch. Ian and I lived with Gran. We'd go to work, come home, have tea, listen to the tapes and talk about the next one, how to make it better. John, 12. dead and buried in the ground within the hour. Nobody saw anything. Keith, 12. Dead and buried in the ground, never to be seen again. Yeah, we hid him well. They won't find him. And Leslie Ann, 10. She shouldn't have been out so late alone. I stood at the window as he killed her. Ian recorded it. 16 minutes and 21 seconds, that is all it took. I can hear my voice on the tape telling her to shut up. I didn't know he'd recorded it. It was stupid. It made the jury cry. It made her mother want to kill me with her bare hands. And it made Ian stiffen. Then there was Edward, 21. I was 23. My sister's husband, David Smith, was there. He watched as Ian danced with Edward like a rag doll. He saw that first blow register in his eyes. He looked on as he took 17 blows to the skull with a fire axe, and he saw me do nothing. Ian wanted David there to share that moment with him. And we all cleaned that room until 4 a.m. It was a mess. Blood everywhere. In the carpets, in the curtains, over lampshades, even in the fireplace. Shards of his bone had scattered round the room. His brain had leaked all over. Clumps of his hair led out into the hallway, but nobody would ever have known. But Ian got it wrong. David was not in awe of him. And the police were round by 7. I didn't want any of this. Ian did. I didn't do anything. I didn't touch any. Well, I didn't murder anyone. I just loved Ian. I used to believe him. That life was for our taking. But I don't anymore. I learned. You don't believe me. Fair enough. My name is Myra Hindley. Infamous. I've become disowned. But I'm one of your own.